diddy bop. All right.
Are you wearing the shades?
You don't think they're cool?
Absolutely not.
Really?
No.
God damn it.
They're not going to work.
Damn it. Welcome to Minor Disturbance Radio. I never look cool like that. I want to wear sunglasses and look cool on the show.
Not so cool.
They're not cool?
Not to me.
These are not cool.
No.
These are cool, dude.
I think you'd be called a dork again.
These are cool. Right. Well, my wife's not here this time, so she can't make fun of me. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it for the sponsors. I think it looks cool.
All right, Ronnie Millsap. Good.
So I get no respect around here, man. All right, episode.
I don't get the fan. You get the fan.
I have fans.
Yeah, you have one.
Rockstar. Ooh. Hello. All right, so episode 6 of Minor Disturbance Radio, and we welcome you. This might be a train wreck because, man, we are in good form tonight.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
I can feel it. This is officially episode 6, correct?
Yeah. You want me to explain it?
Yes.
We fucked up last time. We had, when we interviewed Jason McMaster, we called that episode 6 because I was so nervous.
Right.
When I got talking to him, you know, when the phone call finally came through and stuff, and we had him on the line, I was like, yeah, welcome to episode 6. And we just went with it that way. And I was like, damn it. The interview shows are never an episode. They're just called what they are.
Right.
It would be MDR or Minor Disturbance Radio with Jason McMaster.
Correct.
And that's what I should have said, but I have no fucking clue what I'm doing.
No.
So, and we all have, witnessed that. But anyway, this is episode 6. So this is officially episode 6 where these shades are bad. I told you. These are cool.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. They're looking good. I can see myself in the camera. I look pretty damn good.
All right.
I like
as long
it.
as you're happy.
Well,
That's what we're all here for.
it's not so bright.
Okay.
Anyway, so we got to get through. Okay, this episode of Minor Disturbance Radio is brought to you by, and you have the whole list.
I do. I'm checking you out this time. Make sure you're covered everything.
We got a lot of friends now and a lot of sponsors here, so we're going to go through them pretty quick. We have Rascals, Bent River, Music Mart, QC Rock Academy, Music Go Round, Richie Sound, Ribco, and Real Tracks. And since we went like that, them are all the sponsors that are going to be on the back of our new Minor Disturbance shirts.
Yes.
That we ordered from Nar City.
Yes.
And they're in printing right now, and they look as cool as me in these shades.
They do.
Let me tell you.
No, they do. Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah, they look really cool.
Really good job.
And he's worked with me pretty well because, he sends me a design or something that's there, and then, of course, I have to change one little thing because I'm creepy like that. You know
right.
what I mean? I'm creepy. What would make me use the word creepy?
I don't know.
Me? Creepy?
Yeah.
No way, dude.
Yeah, with you in
No
the shades,
way,
creepy. So, but he's doing a real good job.
We're actually done with the sponsors. That's what's cool about it. We did the sponsors.
We did it.
Yeah. So
the shirts are good.
The shirts are cool.
Yeah.
And if
I'm excited.
Yeah, they're available and they look really cool, and they give you superpowers too.
They do?
Yeah, absolutely.
So let us know if you want one.
Yep. So thank you, Nar City. Like I said, he works with me pretty good. All right, I'll get rid of the shades. Jesus, people. It's like, I can just sense them right now emailing and saying, yeah, Brian, the shades are no-go. Look at these pretty eyes. Hear it. You got to see these pretty eyes.
Yes, I want to hear it. How many people disliked?
Dusty, don't look in my eyes. Don't look in my eyes. All right. That was probably creepy for him.
He's like, what, mid?
Yeah. All right, Minor Disturbance Radio, episode 6. What do you want to talk about? I like putting you on the spot.
I know, you do, don't you?
Okay.
Just see if I crash.
Well, here's the deal. I went to the fair this weekend.
Okay.
And I took my daughter.
All right.
And rode some rides and stuff, and she loved that. And it's fun to watch, like, a kid that's just coming into the whole carnival atmosphere thing.
Taking it in.
And responding to what's happening around them. For those of you that have kids, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The first ride that my daughter took on a ride, like a fair ride, was with her dad.
Oh.
Me.
All right.
I'm not talking about her other dad.
Oh.
We're pretty sure it's me.
Okay.
I think.
Oh.
Did you see my kid?
Yeah.
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 So anyway, yeah, the first ride was with me.
Okay.
And it was amazing for me to have her right next to me, and I could hear her and feel her saying, like, yelling and like and loving it, and you know what she did?
What?
So proud of her. So proud of her. The other people on the other side, because it was a ride that you face each other. It was kind of like the boat thing that goes back and forth.
Oh,
and
okay.
spins.
That's what I was going to ask. All right.
It's one of the coolest ones there.
Yeah.
Anyway, you get that nice stomach drop feeling, but it doesn't go too crazy. And, anything that spins too much, I'm going to get sick.
Right.
But if it's back and forth like this, where you're weightless for a couple seconds on either end. I love that.
Okay.
That's the best feeling ever. And she was feeling that, and I could tell it when we got to the top. She was going, whoa, you know what I mean? And I'm so proud of her. She went, boom, and put her hands up.
Really?
Like, oh my God. I was like, because she saw the people on the other end of the boat doing it. And so she was mimicking them, and she realized that she's not going to fall out of the seat.
Yep.
But, you know, it was so cool because she felt that, and it was neat.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Felt a little heart beating, just like a little panic maybe?
Yeah. She liked it for a while.
Okay.
And then when she realized that, wait a minute, this is, you know, she started to kind of say, I want to see mama. But anyway, that's what kids do.
Yep.
Anyway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to feel like I can't talk about normal family life and stuff on Minor Disturbance Radio about rock and roll and all things in rock. You know, I mean, I don't know if, you know, but I don't give a shit.
Right.
You know, this is fun to do. I think that it's still just fun to talk about life. It doesn't have to be about metal or anything like that all the time. So, and we'll get to the damn rock and roll, and we'll talk about all that stuff.
We'll turn up to 11 in a bit.
But my experience with this fair was really, it was disheartening in a way, because here I am walking around with my 2-year-old daughter.
Okay.
While some like other men's 16-year-old daughters were walking around the fair.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm going to try to say this as old pervert-ish. Or,
okay.
You know, I'm just saying that it was a scene. You know when your eyes see things, and then like, but then like your testicles or your dick sees another thing.
Right.
Well, my dick was seeing sexual signals all over the place.
Right. But
my brain was seeing a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that makes me weird, but as soon as I was like, whoa, what's that? That's a kid. Whose dad let her come out of the house like that?
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what my experience was with it.
Like your natural reaction as a guy was like this.
Right.
Because you don't think of yourself being 40 still. Then all of a sudden you're like looking around, you're like, wait a minute. Then you start doing the math in your head. You're like, whoa. I could be somebody's, that could be their dad.
But unfortunately for men, our dicks see things first.
Right.
And then our brains see it.
Yeah.
It's a fact.
It's a fact.
It's a fact. I proved it to myself.
Okay.
Because one time my dick was looking around the corner behind me.
Really?
And I had to turn around to see what it was looking at.
Oh, where are you going?
It's crazy.
Yeah, okay.
It was my wife, by the way. I love my wife a lot.
Good.
My wife is gorgeous. She gets stared at all the time. So, you know, if you women are like, oh, I can't believe he's talking about things like this on the... My wife is cool. She's the hottest woman I know, and she owns me, and that's it. And
you're okay with it? That's all right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Dedicate the rest of my life to her. She's mine. But my dick still sees things sometimes that it shouldn't see, and then my brain goes, "Wait, you're not seeing what you think you're seeing." But it scared me because here I am, 40 years old, at the fair, and I just put on the blinders on myself because I wasn't even going to look around anymore because
you don't need to.
It was inappropriate. These kids are dressing like they're going to a strip club or they're
going out to the club or whatever. Yeah.
Where are their parents at?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if anybody else noticed that, but the whole Daisy Duke shorts. I mean, this makes me sound old because usually it'd be like, yeah, man, the Daisy Duke shorts. But I'm telling you, there's something about it that you're just kind of grossed out a little bit. Like,
right.
And then I look at my daughter, and I go, what do I have to do between now and when she's able to go to the fair by herself?
Correct.
To make her look like one of the normal, just pretty girls that just look pretty.
Right.
That aren't the ugly little skanks that have all the little like fake stuff on them that makes them look hot.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're not really that good looking at all.
No.
It's just the
makeup and the dress and yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's all fake.
Wanting to look older than they are.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm walking through there with my beautiful wife and people, and she's 7 months pregnant and people are still staring at her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't see why they wouldn't. I'm just saying they don't care. They notice that I've watched their eyes. When you have a wife like mine,
right? You
walk through and you know how the men are feeling when they see her.
Yeah.
And I know how how she looks. And then because I remember the first time I saw her.
Right.
I was like, oh, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I remember thinking, that girl is beautiful.
So now you just sit back and observe other people.
I see them, and they see her, and then they look at her, they spot her face, move down to her cleavage, and then, well, in this case, they spot the face, move down to the cleavage, stare for that for like about good 2-3 seconds, you know, and then they move down and go, oh, and you can see them realize, oh, she's pregnant.
Yeah.
And then they look back at her tits again.
You see the progression?
I see him going, she's pregnant and I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's hot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, I watch it.
Yeah.
It was happening.
That's funny. You can sit back and just notice that and take notes.
Absolutely. And I saw Simon Says Uncle at the fair too, and they, they're a great band, man. I enjoy the set list that they do.
Definitely.
You
don't hear it anywhere else.
Yeah, and I don't appreciate the way that sometimes a crowd treats bands, and they weren't being mean to them, but they never seem to attract a like concert style crowd in there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I don't understand why. I mean, I would think that all them people would be ready to drink beer and get up in front of the band and rock out. Yeah. But then again, you got to think of the set list that Simon Says Uncle, they played Revolution Calling. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And Operation Mindcrime. Right. Yeah. Back to back.
Yeah. And then playing Eyes of a Stranger and...
Yeah. Yeah. Well, even if they played Eyes of a Stranger, I don't think that the crowd would respond to that either.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
A couple more people, but...
You can't dance to it.
That's true.
So you could only sit and kind of absorb it and listen to it. But I think that they are a good enough band that they deserve the concert type reaction, Right. And I'm wondering where them people are that aren't there to dance, I guess is what I'm saying. You know, I was there to go like this and, if you... I don't know what the number is, but they say that there's a number of people that if you put them at a show... I'm not stealing this from 1152, but I was talking to the guys in 1152 about this, and they said that, I think they brought it up, but like, say you're at a club and you're watching a band and it's just 5 people in there. Okay. All 5 people are going to stand there like, do, 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 with their hands in their pocket, right? Okay. And they're not going to give a shit about the band. They're not going to show any emotion to the band at all. Okay. Every once in a while you get like a crackhead girl in there that'll like start dancing around and stuff no matter what, but... Usually everybody else is kind of embarrassed of that, and then they're like, oh, my God, no, you know what I mean? Yeah. But there's a certain amount of people that you get to that are at a show, then it's all of a sudden okay to, like, start getting into it.
Oh, like, instead of 5 people, 50 people.
Yeah, now all of a sudden, what number is it? How many people have to be in front of the band for that kinetic energy to do what it does and make the people all start to, like, become a unit of people? Okay. Other than, I think it would be because if there's 10 people there, then there's 10 individual people there. Okay. But if you get enough people to take up a percentage of the room, then it becomes one entity of a crowd, and then they can react as a crowd. I see. Because if I was just walking down, listening to my earbuds or something, and I'm walking down the street going, and like pounding my fist like I'm at a concert, I'd get arrested. You would. Right. But if I go to a concert, I can do that and more. I can pull my pants down and do that. Right? Right.
I don't know about pulling your pants down.
Well, they might kick you. Well, if you're wearing underwear.
Oh, yeah. If you're wearing underwear, it's okay.
Or if you had your, limited edition Iron Maiden underwear on.
Then you're okay. They might take you up front.
Absolutely. Jesus, man, that's stupid. You're funny.
Really? Mm-hmm. All right.
Anyway, so that's... what number is that, do you think?
I don't know.
If you're at Rascals, I think that if you had 100 people in there, that's going to happen. People can start to do that. But I wonder if it's a scientific number. If you can get it down to, nope, there's only 38 in here. They're all standing there. What is the number?
You cross that threshold.
But you put
40.
one more person in there, and then all of a sudden everybody starts pounding their fist. I mean, what is that ratio?
Yeah, I don't know. It probably depends on the club.
Yeah, and I know all the people in bands know exactly what I'm talking about. You start your first set or whatever, and there's like 6 people there. Mm-hmm. 2 of them are eating a tenderloin still because the kitchen just like is still open. Right. Yeah. And they're trying to eat, and you're trying to play like whatever your opening set is. Usually it's the stuff that don't work that well. Right. It's just kind of sit and eat tenderloin music.
Really?
Yeah, so you're doing that. Okay. You're trying not to piss them off, and your sound man can't turn it up yet, Yeah. I mean, there's some gigs like that, they can't, the bar's like, hey, keep it down. I want you to start at 8 while people are still eating, but don't make too much damn noise because they're eating. Oh. That's so stupid. I've never understood that.
Really? I didn't know there was that.
Oh, I've done that a lot of times.
Really?
A lot of times. Let me tell you how it was for me that way. Okay. I remember because it haunts me. I hate it when this goes on. Okay. Drop Hammer gets to a gig, and it was in Galesburg. Okay. Club called WD's. I remember it because they fired us. Oh. Yeah, and so we get there, and they want us on right at when they want us on, but the kitchen's open still.
Okay.
And so this bar isn't big enough to where there's a whole separate section where you could eat.
Right.
Okay, and so they want Drop Hammer to go on at X time, which is like 8 or something. You know what I mean? And then we had to play until 1:30 in the morning or whatever. So you had to play sets, and everybody knows how that works.
Right.
If you're not in a band, you have to fill the whole night out. So anyway, so we get there, we get set up. And they're like, okay, it's go time. You guys are late, man. It's 8:02. There's nobody there, but like maybe 1 or 2 tables trying to eat.
Okay.
And they're probably all in their 60s.
Oh, okay.
No, this is no shit.
All right. No,
I'm telling you, this has happened to me, and that's why when I make it clear to the club owners that I don't do this anymore.
Okay.
When I play, I don't want to do that anymore.
Right.
But they're trying to eat, and I'm in a band where my bass player, Jerry Smith, and my drummer Terry Hodges were insane.
Right.
Because they were like, our first songs are we're starting out with like In Shock, Blame, and Walk with the Brave, like right off the bat, 3 originals from Drop Hammer.
Right.
To these people that don't want to hear us play anything. They don't want to hear us play Neil Diamond.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? They don't want to hear any note. You're trying to eat, and all of a sudden, doo ga goo goo ga, and the guitarist, and they're trying to figure out the sound and shit, and you're like, yeah.
Right.
It's just dumb for a club owner, I think, to put a live band over people that are just trying to get out of there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Do you think club owners have gotten away from that? Or do you
I don't know.
Have you run into that?
I haven't. That's what's weird is I haven't played club gigs in a while.
Right.
It's usually been lately I've been in more of like show, I don't know what to call it, like a gimmick band to where you're just playing for an hour and a half or 2 hours or something like that. Well, Third Rail did 3 hours straight.
But you guys started like at 9:30, 10, probably after the...
No, we don't ever start at 9:30. We always started at 10 and played 3 straight, like 3 straight hours.
You waited till the kitchen closed.
Oh, that's what I mean. I mean, if the kitchen's still open at 10, because we're gonna mow people over. I mean, we're gonna come right out with... loud music, and if you still got people eating in your club, I won't go on.
Oh, okay.
I'll say I'm not, especially if there's nobody there.
Well, yeah.
Hardly, except for like the dinner crowd.
Right.
I'll tell the bar owner, I say, if you want me to go up and force your clientele that's here right now to leave, because that's what they're going to do. Right. If I go up there and hit, and turn this Marshall up, and my drummer hits a cymbal and a kick drum at the same time through the PA system, they're going to get irritated. Yeah. Because I would. Because they're not there to see the band. Right. You know what I mean?
Oh, totally, yeah.
They're trying to finish up their thing and get out of there.
I wonder if that does still happen. Some of the bands out there, just if they're playing places like that, wherever they play.
We'll have to get somebody from Simon Says Uncle on the show, and we'll talk to them, because I know they play the Nail, and I think that's one of the places that you could have that happen. Yeah. And Ribco has a kitchen, but I think that you're going to have loud music, and that crowd, you're not going to get...
See, and that's the difference.
A crowd of 60-year-olds that are just trying to have dinner.
Were you playing at Bishop's?
You didn't know, man. No. We were sponsored by Bishop's.
I did not know.
Yeah, Drop Hammer was sponsored by Bishop's. Wow. Yeah. Absolutely.
I seen that in the thanks in the bottom of the CD there.
Well, you know that Drop Hammer was formed in like 1932. So these people remember us from our heyday when we were big in Japan.
I learn a lot on this show.
World War II.
Really? Yeah. Wow.
They were playing our records on the bomber planes.
Wow. With ukuleles.
What are we talking about? I don't know. I feel
I'm just trying to throw you off.
I feel like we said some pretty interesting shit there for a second, but then I felt like we just fell off.
We did.
Okay, that's fine. Well, yeah. I can get us back.
I'm just trying to throw you off. See if you can bring it back.
All right. So we were talking about the stupid ass clubs that don't know how they're. Anyway, we were at the fair, and I see Simon Says Uncle, and they're jamming, right. and they sound really good, man. And I went to see them 2 or 3 times recently, and in this time I've realized that every time that I show up to see them, they seem to kind of goes across their band as a wave that, oh, Brian Miner's here, you know what I mean? And right. And they seem to all kind of go, and I can watch their reactions. And when Mark Schrupp will be like, "All right, man, Miner, what's up, man?" And then the drummer's always cool. He pokes a stick at me like, "Hey, man," and then Jerry, he's always cool with everything, right? And Hazen gives me a big smile, but the singer, John Kiss, every time I can kind of see him going, "Shit." because, and I'm just going to be straight up. I mean, this is just straight up.
Okay.
The last 2 times I've seen their band, John was having trouble with his voice.
Oh, okay.
And I realized that when you go see your peers at bars, okay, I'm not coming in to critique. I know that they're good. I know that John Kiss can smoke it. You know, he's got a smoking voice, and but he's got a little bit of a cold. And I give it to him. They still go through the same set list. They still do the ones that his voice is going to crack on.
He's not going to break it down because of it being sick or whatever. He's going to let it fly. Yeah,
being a singer with something wrong in your throat or having a cold or anything like that is so hard on you. It's hard on you mentally, because you go into the gig knowing that you're not going to sing as well as you can.
Right.
And that already bums you out, because these songs are fun to sing as a singer. And then when for some reason that day you don't have the full capacity of what you can do.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, and maybe I'm being egotistical thinking this, but I would like to think that I'm a peer to John Kiss as much as he is when he comes to my gig. Because I know I can only go off of how I feel when I'm on stage, and I see, like, when John Kiss comes in, I go, and my brain goes, fellow singer that you respect, you know he's badass, and he thinks that you're badass, or at least that's what he tells you, and now here's your chance to show him that you are badass.
Right.
Okay? And you have a cold.
Right.
And so now you're going, shit, and you want to tell them so bad, dude. And then that's when singers start telling the audience that, I'm sorry, man, I'm having a hard, then you start making the excuses, because that's what I do. I'm like, I usually don't suck like this, but them 2 packs of Marlboro Reds last night and that shot of whiskey 5 seconds ago kind of
did you in.
For a while there, I was being really like stupid about keep myself in shape, and I was getting away with it, and then all of a sudden, like somebody like John Kiss will come, and then I'm like, and a song will come up that I could really shine at. If I had kept myself from drinking and smoking and all that, I could probably really do good at it.
Right.
And then I'm so mad.
But you need to realize, I guess, that they've walked in your shoes, but I know you're not thinking of that at the time. Right? You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows it. Everybody's been on stage, been sick.
That's what I mean. I want him to understand that,
and he does.
Because he tends to just kind of go off into space. He'll close his eyes and just sing, and won't even look at the crowd.
Right.
Another weird thing about him is he don't wear shoes ever. He's barefoot all the time on stage. I don't know what that is, but it's kind of a thing that he does.
That's fine.
Yeah. But I mean, this guy has got, for anybody that hasn't seen Simon Says Uncle, the singer John Kiss is one of them vocalists that has a range that's just out of this world. I mean, he can cover, Maiden, Heart, like Barracuda, or Let Me Go Crazy on You, or that type of vocal. He can do that,
right?
And he's very good at it. But when you have a vocalist that needs that range, and then you give him a virus that takes sections of it away from you, sometimes you still have the super highs, but you don't have the
mids
in there, and and then you're screwed, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then all of a sudden you get somebody that you look up to. It's kind of like if Scott Whitehall came in when I was playing guitar in the band, and one of my fingers were broke. Or I was just drunk. I was too drunk to play right. You know what I mean? Or I'm perfectly sober, but I'm so like in the moment that I blow a lick or something that should have been easy.
Yeah.
Little things like that. But what I'm saying is, bands are like that. When you're in a band and somebody that you respect comes in to watch you play in your band, you never play as good as you wanted to,
because you're trying too hard.
It never seems like, I've never felt like it when somebody came to see my band that they left going, damn, that dude's good. I always think that they're leaving going, I thought he was a little better than that. That's the way it's been for me.
That poor guy.
I'm like, why, you try to impress so much, because you want the respect.
Oh yeah. Even though they probably do, but in your head you just can't get through that.
Right.
Okay.
And then there's some people that just don't give a shit.
Right.
And maybe he don't. Maybe he didn't give a shit that I'm there or anybody's there, and because he really didn't say nothing to me. He didn't come off stage and go like, I'm not feeling good tonight, or anything like that. It was just kind of evident. So we just he never said anything.
Yeah. He might just be enjoying himself, and it is what it is.
Yeah. But I'm not like that. I get mad when I can't sing.
Right.
It happened to me one time. It's happened to me one time in my whole career where that nightmare as a vocalist happened.
Right.
And I've already figured out what it was.
Mm-hmm.
It was the smoke machine.
Oh.
Yeah, I found out this late in my career.
Yeah.
Smoke machines and my voice do not mix.
Oh.
Because there's something in that smoke, in that vapor, that dries your vocal cords out right now. It's the same chemical that's in them electronic cigarettes.
Oh.
That people smoke, because, you know what I mean? And it's that vapor, and they do that, and they lose their voice.
Oh, I would have known that.
Yeah, it's very common.
Yeah.
Whatever that chemical is that does it, that's also what they use for smoke machines, to get that vapor.
Yeah.
And so that's why it looks like smoke.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm inhaling that, and I remember.
Well, how'd you figure that? Did you try one of those cigarette things?
No. Here's how I found out.
Okay.
Well, Google's a good thing, but this is what led me to Google that.
Okay.
We were playing at the Purgatory, and that week it was around Halloween, so all the Halloween stores were open.
Yeah.
And I happened to be at this Halloween store, and I noticed this smoke machine, like a fog machine for super cheap. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so. So I buy the stupid thing. I'm thinking, man, our gig's gonna be awesome tonight. We'll smoke that place out. You know what I mean? It'd be cool.
Yeah.
So I was trying to add a little bit of fun to the show.
Right.
You know, you could even put the ice in there so the smoke just hangs at the bottom of the stage. But we didn't do that.
Right.
We didn't do that.
Probably been a good idea.
We had never gauged how much smoke this thing puts out. You know what I mean? You turn it has an on or off. It doesn't have like a fire for a second and then let off. Like most clubs can like shoot it for a second and then like control how much is up there.
Yeah.
So I plugged that thing in, the light turned green, and I turned it on, and that thing went, and it didn't look like it was doing much. And we come running out, you know, look what the cat dragged in, and then about third song in, we couldn't see anything in there, right? And so now we can't see anything. Can't see the crowd, nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like looking for that red light to shut it off. You know what I mean? Like, shut this thing off. And probably about, you know, by our fifth song, my voice just disappeared.
Yeah.
There was no coming back from this one. I don't know what I did. Well, I do know what I did. It was the smoke machine.
Mm-hmm.
I was swimming in it. You know, if you look at the
Right.
lights, you could see it going in, and you could exhale it. You know, it was consuming my lungs.
Wow.
And as cool as it looks, it's not good for your vocal at all.
Right.
So I lost it. Anyway, that night, Bill Pfeiffer
Yeah.
and his whole, they went to a wedding, so all the people that went to the wedding with them,
Yeah.
and so there's a bunch of my friends and peers in that group,
Right.
and then on that night, Travis Williams, another person that I look up to, and that he snuck in there, poked his head in, and saw us playing, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no! And then when I'm singing and my voice is doing that, I'm thinking Travis is here somewhere and he's hearing this and he's thinking that this is what we sound like, you know. And the nightmare is going on, you know what I mean? And anyway, there was a lot of my peers there that night, and I was so angry because I had no idea why this was happening, and you know I thought it was from smoking because I was smoking cigarettes.
Well, yeah.
So I quit right then.
Right.
Because my band looked at me afterwards and they said, hey, that's cool, man. You lost, you know, your voice sucked. And so what'd you do? You handed off the microphone, you went outside and smoked.
Yeah.
And, you know, they were right.
Yeah, tough pill to swallow. But
They weren't even mad about it. They just said what I did.
Right.
And then me hearing that, I went, that's not very professional of me at all.
Yeah.
If I consider myself a professional vocalist, that's not what I should be doing.
Yeah.
You know? Right?
Right.
Yeah. You don't go play an NFL football game after you just ate a whole bag of Cheetos and didn't sleep all night.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, come on. Am I wrong?
No, you're right.
I mean, I know that some bands are only making $50 a piece, and it's just kind of a fun thing for them. But you know,
You still want to go out there and show your talent.
Yeah.
And make the people that did come to the show enjoy it.
But anyway, the guys with the upper voice like that, they have a delicate instrument that could get damaged very easily.
Oh yeah.
You know, but if you're Bret Michaels, you're gonna get.
Yeah.
You could have the flu and the smoke machine like shoved up your butt, and you're still not gonna. You know, you can still get it through the night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
You can still pull it off.
Yeah, because you know, look what the kid who can't do that. You know.
Yeah.
You know. Am I wrong?
No. I just.
Has Bret Michaels ever hit a note that made you go, oh man?
I was just thinking through the catalog, and I don't think so.
No, he never like hits like. Well, you know what I mean? That's what I want. You know what I mean? I like and I'm not even gonna try to hit a note on here because it's embarrassing. The whole world's watching, man.
The whole world. But yeah, but you're right. Yeah, he probably can go through with a cold and go unnoticed.
Can you imagine the producer for Poison what he had to go through? Like, we both lost some sleep. And okay, first of all, Brett, slow down. You don't need to enhance every syllable. Okay? Yeah, never mind. Just do it how you're going to do it. It's going to take all damn day. You know what I mean?
But they sold millions.
Right. Oh, yeah, quadrillion. Quadrillions of records.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I have never bought a Poison record in my life. And I always get lumped into that since I'm a hair metal guy.
Yeah.
Like all the average people in the world, they immediately assume since you associate yourself with hair metal that, Poison is the king of hair metal bands, right?
Oh, you must like Bon Jovi and Poison.
Right. You must be, yeah.
Yeah.
No. No.
No, I'm setting the record straight.
I've never bought a Poison record, nor have I ever, I remember when the video came on MTV, I was like, what the hell? Oh, no. The first time I saw them, I saw the record cover at it was at South Park Mall, and they had a music store in there. I walked by and I saw it, and I was like, my dick saw it. Remember?
We're backtracking.
Yeah, my dick saw it first. And then my brain saw it and said, them are men. You know what I mean? And I'm sorry to say, but that's what happened.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa. And now I look at that record cover and I could tell, I'm like, ugh. But whatever I was, 16-year-old me saw chicks, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I remember seeing that, I was like, damn, Bobby. You know what I mean? Bobby Doll was like,
oh yeah,
for like 4 seconds. And I was like, you know what I mean? Then you realize that you got took.
Right.
There's some bullshit going on here. You know what I mean?
Shysters.
But look, I'm in a tribute band. I'm in an A tribute band, and I'm telling you right now, when we're on stage, if you said, what song do you want to play right now, Monkey Business or Unskinny Bop? And I would be like, well, this place is packed with chicks that want to dance right now. And if we played Unskinny Bop, they'd love the shit out of me right now.
So you're like debating, you're like,
no, it's easy. Unskinny Bop right now.
Yeah.
Or whatever the lyric, and I stand there like, and I watch everybody like, they start rocking out, and I'm like, because if we were doing Monkey Business right now, they'd be getting a drink.
Yeah.
You want to make it as fun as you can, and trust me, playing in a band is way fucking cooler when everybody's partying. Yeah. You know what I mean? And they're loving it and having a good time, and they're making it feel like a music video all the time. You know?
Yeah.
It's just way cooler that way.
Yeah. And some people forget, because they obviously want to hear, like I said, other stuff, but you get it.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what, dude? I went to a 1152 practice the other day. Okay. Because I wanted to try out one of their amps. Because Dusty has Dusty, the guitar player and singer for 1152, has a Soldano SLO. Mm-hmm. And I've always wanted to play. Well, I've played through them before, but I just wanted to go check it out because I was thinking about borrowing it for a possible gig that might be coming up.
Oh, okay.
And so I went over there to check their amps out and stuff, but. They played a couple new original tunes for me because they're gonna work on a new record.
Okay, very cool. Right.
And I was in a hurry because I knew that I had to get back home for dinner and all this stuff, and I wanted to hear a couple tunes, and I was like, I don't really have the time, but they were like, okay, we're him hauling around, it's kind of got quiet, and Dusty's like, okay, you ready? And they kick into these new tunes, and they played two for me, and 5 seconds into the first tune. I didn't care if I got in trouble anymore. I was like, there's something new abound with 1152 that, and I'm not just trying to, nut hug them. Right. Because, they're friends of mine, but damn it, I'm a musician. I've been in original bands before, and I stood there and watched them and got, like, chills because I was so proud of them. I was so, like, and they're not even anything for me to be proud of. I mean, I was proud to see that they are that good of a band. You know what I mean? It was just so cool to see. The new material that they're doing right now has all the bells and whistles of what the kind of stuff I like. Like I said, all they'd have to do is maybe introduce a couple Sebastian Bach type or Maiden type harmonies or screams or something in there, but I like it regardless. Oh yeah, I think his voice is great for that. He's not doing the Cookie Monster stuff. Yeah, the riffs are heavy and very cool sounding, and there's a lot of like drumming and progressive stuff in there. And it's really cool. So I left there, and I just wanted to say that. I mean, these guys are making the record now, right? And it's going to be awesome.
Are they playing that stuff live yet? Are they?
No, not yet. What is that? Why is that saying "drop out" on there? What's that red thing at the bottom saying?
Drop out, and it stopped.
Damn it! fucking sonar. There was something that I really was debating on whether I wanted to talk about on the show or not, and I had a kind of an epiphany in a way, because I talk about this on the episodes. I say, man, I wish that the younger generation would listen to our style of music so that they will sound like that and we could enjoy it.
Right.
But what I've realized is you could have like a different looking but same sounding Skid Row come out right now.
Right.
They were 19, 20 or something like that.
Right.
And they were, coming into the scene. But so I was only 15 or 16. But if a band came out now that sounded like that and were singing about them things and had that, I'm not going to relate to it anymore. So it's almost like the only bands that I'm going to like, from that era are the ones that I actually witnessed as I was in that prime age for that to happen. So in other words, a band that came out now that sounded just like him, I probably wouldn't care about them too much because they don't hold that value of when you were figuring out life, like when you were figuring out you're trying to get in girls' pants and like going out and drinking beers and being with the kids, and like that music was the soundtrack to that.
Right.
So for us, when we hear that, it's an immediate, subway trip to that time for us.
So if you heard a new band that was trying to emulate that, you would not, it
wouldn't have the same profound effect. Okay. And the reason I know that, and I've proved it to myself, is when bands that I loved from that era try to put out a new record.
Okay.
Okay. And now a lot of times they've adapted, but for me, I could put on a brand new Maiden record right now and know that it whoops ass, but it still doesn't stand up.
It doesn't have that same feel
to like Run to the Hills and Trooper and all that stuff.
So are you listening with your memories, or are you prejudging it?
I don't know what that is, what that schism is in your brain that works for, but I hear bands now and that can play like Maiden and do that type of thing.
Right.
Bullet for my Valentine,
right.
or people like this. The vocals are different, but you hear the musicianship. Oh yeah. And really, it just kind of goes right over my head most of the time, just because it's not anything I can relate to. These are 22-year-old kids, right? You know what I mean? That are finding their way in the world, and that's the soundtrack to their trip. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so it's not going to affect me. I'll go, oh, good players. That's kind of neat, right? But it's not going to leave a indelible like tattoo etched into my soul. You know what I mean? Like the stuff when we were listening to it in our bedroom when we were kids, and mad at our mom because we couldn't go out with our buddies in the weekend, so we put on like Vinnie Vincent Invasion, like 'cause I'm back, you know what I mean? Right. I don't know. It sounds so stupid, but it's true, man.
You're right.
It might not have been that song. I'm just saying it wasn't Strutter. You don't put Strutter on when you're mad at your mom.
You don't?
No.
Okay.
And in that rock and roll all night party every day, you put something on, it's like, you can't keep me from doing it. So it'd be like Motley Crue would have hit me at that time, like the Shout the Devil record, shout at the devil. And you're like, yeah, I don't know what that means, but it's cool, you know what I mean? I want to shout at the devil, man, that sounds cool. And it pisses everybody off that we like this, and these guys piss everybody off, so I like it.
So going back to that, if I brought something from that era to you that you've never heard, how do you think you interpret that? I mean, because it doesn't have the memories,
but it has the same recording sound. And so, like, if it were recorded in the same recording session as like Under Lock and Key, and it was a song that sounded like it should have been on that record, and it was recorded for that record, I will let it in, but it will never still.
But even a brand, not even the same, like a Dawkins song, but even a different band that you've never heard of before. You know what I'm saying?
From like an 80s band?
An 80s band.
No, it would have had to have been in my consciousness as I'm driving down the street in my Subaru Brat with the speakers that weren't even in the wall. I didn't even have them in the doors. I had them on the dashboard sitting in front of me. They weren't even mounted because I had like 6 of them. Back then I figured like as many wires as you could find, you could hook speakers up, right? And I just made it louder.
Right.
No, it don't. So I had the Subaru Brat with the 2 speakers in the door, and then I put like 2 under the seat. And they're not even anything. They're just sitting there. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then I put 2 on the dash, and these were 6x9s, or something like that. They're on the dashboard. sitting there in each corner of the car, and I'm cranking Dangerous Toys and Tora Tora and all these
Right.
things like this, and it had to sound hideous from the outside, like nothing but buzzsaw, 'cause,
Yeah.
but I thought it was cool, and
Well, yeah.
But yeah, if it didn't hit me at that time when I was trying to sneak, to my girlfriend's house and try to get in her pants before our parents got home, stuff
Right.
like that, or whatever it was, the soundtrack to that part of your life. I think when you're learning stuff that, and you're learning some new chapter of your life, and that's the soundtrack to it, it's with you forever.
Right.
And you can't replace that. Even if there was a band that I didn't see then, but then you reintroduced me to them, it's still not going to have any merit to me because I don't.
Right.
It wasn't part of my consciousness.
Right.
So are we music lovers or are we
Memory
lovers?
I don't know.
Because I still love music. Don't get me wrong.
Well, I think everybody's different.
Yeah, I can still tell a good song from and you get new memories that come out. You
Right.
know.
Oh, yeah.
The things that go on in your life. You know what I mean? And you get these new soundtracks, but they're not the same. We thought when we were 14 that as soon as we got out of high school, we were gonna go out in our skin tight Levi jeans and take our shirt off and grow our hair long and go bang chicks and drink whiskey all day and rock out every night. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe not everybody thought that, but you thought that if you got in a band and did well, then that's
Right.
how your life was. It was just
yeah.
a party all the time.
Everybody want to hang out with you.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it was over. That's all you needed to do was get famous.
Yeah.
How do you do that? I don't know. Start rocking out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I watched the video. These guys do that.
Yeah, I'm going to start with this. We're going to practice in my bedroom. I'm going to get a broom handle, duct tape this microphone to it.
Yep.
And you could put it through a chair and for the mic stand.
Yep.
You flip the chair backwards. You stick the broom handle in there, and you tape the microphone to the
Right.
broom handle, and you got a microphone stand. And we start to take over the world. Let's go.
Let's go.
Me and a drummer. I remember that. I got a drummer over to my house, and
Yeah.
when we got home from school, boom, we started. And with us, we were writing our own stuff. We didn't want to cover stuff. That's what was kind of.
Yeah.
I immediately went into trying to write riffs, you know what I
Right.
mean, and play with the drummer. At first, they were riffs that would have been like in a Tora Tora record or
Right.
very simple stuff. But then it started taking a different turn to where we wanted to kind of show off and get, for each other. Anyway, that was how I thought I was going to take over the world. And then, who'd have thought I'd have been a 40-year-old sitting here, fail.
Really? Epic failure.
I don't look at it that way, man.
No, yeah.
Millions of people try this thing, and very, very few succeed.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just how it goes, man.
Yep. And it'd be interesting to find out, what is succeed? Is it still playing the music? Is it making the money? What is, in their opinion,
I had to really think, and get in touch with that with me, because obviously nobody wants to face that idea of what they had to do to recognize the fact that they weren't going to make it, because everybody has that time in their life where they have to face the facts and say this is over, and it's at a different time for different people. And for me, it was a really spiritual thing for me. I looked at it like this. I looked at it like, well, I'm a failure, and I was upset and I was mad about it, and I wanted to be mad at everybody else that was doing better than me, and I wanted to, make fun of everybody and act cocky and hide behind this thing, and I was just putting my energy in the wrong place, and it was a destructive idea.
Right.
But then I realized that when I talk about Drop Hammer or the things I've done in the past, I have nothing to be ashamed of.
No.
When I mention it, people still respond, they weren't like, oh God, these guys were horrible. I
Right.
thought, we were something, and I was proud of it. And when I realized it wasn't going to happen, I looked at it and I went, I went from that kid with the broomstick in the bedroom that's taped, through the chair and that, to writing records and releasing them,
Right.
selling them, and having people that gave me money for them, and listened to them enough to where they knew most of the material. Now, we're not talking about millions of people.
Right.
We're talking about maybe hundreds.
But took their time to
But
learn
latched
the material.
onto the
Right.
material, and it affected them. Listen, man, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but I'm just trying to decide between successful or failure.
Right.
And for me, there's people that have listened to my material and changed their life.
Right.
You know what I mean? I have had a lady that, through hearing one of my songs, decided that she was going to quit what she was doing and start a whole new business. And once she did that, and she got in a position, she was inspired by my lyrics.
Oh.
And she did this, and she sent, I got the cutout from the newspaper of the business she started. It was a picture of her and a story about the business she started. And she told me that she did it. Of course, it was the power within her.
Well, yeah.
But she just needed to hear from somebody the right words to push her to the action.
Right.
You know what I mean? And sometimes it takes that for people. And so I look at that and I say, my music or something that I came up with, my art, had an effect on the whole picture of how everything goes in this life.
Yeah.
It caused a wrinkle in time.
Yeah.
And to me, I couldn't ask for more than that.
Right.
Because that boy that was in his room, trying to write riffs
Right.
on a harmony guitar would, if I just stepped up to me and said, dude, you're going to write songs that are going to change this person's life. And possibly this person, and you're going to make this person feel better about a breakup on this song, and
Right.
and you're going to, any of that, then your job is
Right.
a success.
Oh, yeah.
And it might not be for the millions of people.
Right. The level that you maybe wanted it to, but you still did it.
Right. So with that being said, when I transcended past the whole, like, okay, it's over now, I'm never going to be that rock star that gets to tour the world and and have boats and Ferraris, because who didn't notice in our area, it was George Lynch, and in one of the videos he's ripping around in a Testarossa.
Yep, in the Hunter video.
Yeah, in the Hunter, he's ripping around, their hair's flying out the top of this Testarossa, right?
Yeah.
And what do? They just play gigs and go out at night.
Yep.
It seemed like, the kids are impressionable.
Yes.
They think that that's how it is.
Yeah, every day that's exactly what you did.
But that's what they wanted you to think too.
Oh yeah, it was an image.
Yeah, it wasn't always like that. So
Right. Don't say that. It was always like that.
Oh, it was for Def Leppard and Poison.
Right. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, it was a hard transition for me to go from that to this. But now that I'm here, there's so much weight off my shoulders, because when you still have it bearing on you and you haven't faced it yet, it's a heavy vest to wear,
Right.
and people can see it a mile away. And once you come to the conclusion that, okay, I'm just happy to be where I'm at, and I'm finally comfortable in my own skin, and I can say out loud that I didn't make it. You know what I mean? Once you can do that, it's like, the weight comes off, and then you become yourself.
Right.
You're not hiding behind anything, and when people say, well, why didn't Drop Hammer make it? Well, because we didn't try hard enough and we weren't good enough. That's the bottom line.
There's a lot of factors that go into that.
That's the bottom line. I'm not saying we sucked.
No, I know that.
I'm saying because if we were better, we would have been better. You can't.
I have a tough time with that. I'm not saying that at all. Either way, but there's a lot of bands that aren't very good that make it, and you know that.
Well, if you want to get real specific with what Drop Hammer did wrong.
Yeah.
To me, and a lot of people that listen to this might not even know who Drop Hammer is, but we were originally a four members. We had two guitar players, and we relied heavily on dual guitar parts.
Right.
Okay. And that was our thing. We wanted to have really drive-in double bass riffs with double leads in there and stuff like that. And the guitar player we had, Jeff Styles, was a phenomenal guitar player. And, I wasn't no slouch. And so we were battling each other basically in these solo spots. And that's what the band was, meat and potatoes right there. Boom. And then Jeff left.
Right.
And you try to find a replacement for Jeff. And you're looking all around. And unfortunately, we were still trying to be like a long-haired metal band.
Right.
We still wanted to kind of carry that torch. And so we wanted to find a guitar player that looked cool and could shred and had and knew what they were doing and could sing backups and all that stuff. And I needed somebody that was better than me at guitar.
Right.
And somebody that looked better than me. And, you want your lead guitar player to be your lead guitar player.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to almost go to the Dave Mustaine role and have the Chris Broderick,
Right.
I mean? but that dude's hard to find.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's in 6 bands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's not interested in wasting his time with music he didn't write.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So we couldn't find another guitar player. We tried a few, and just the chemistry didn't work, or just they have to also be in love with the material.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And some of them weren't in love with it, and anyway, long story short, we couldn't find the replacement to that wheel. So we just kept playing as a 3-piece with me singing and playing lead guitar all the time.
Right.
And it just didn't have the full... I stopped standing behind it and feeling confident when I was doing it.
Oh, okay.
Because I knew that there was a wheel missing.
I see.
For what my vision was for what the band was supposed to be. Mm-hmm. And when we play riffs and I'm doing the parts and the harmony part's supposed to kick in, it's not there.
Right.
And I'm going, this part is so fucking cool.
But it needs.
But there's nobody doing the harmony with me, so it's not happening. People aren't hearing it,
Right.
so they're just thinking that I'm up here wanking. Mm-hmm. You know,
It's like doing a power slide on a big wheel and it's cracked.
Yeah, I guess I don't know where that came from. Are you on drugs?
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. It just popped in my
Jesus.
head. That's where we go.
That was all right. Yeah,
I had a reference to Big Wheel.
I've never pulled the handle and had the thing break.
No, really?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Because you do it so much that it just cracks.
I've rode them so much that the plastic comes off and you start getting rocks inside the tires.
Well, that too, but
Yeah.
I mean, it actually punctures at one time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a while.
You know what I'm talking about? The back, the wheels on there that you start. Well, we were not rich kids, probably, because most kids would probably get a new big wheel when that happened,
Right.
But not me. You just kept going until because it'd be 2 sides then, and the wheel in the middle's gone.
Yeah.
You know, and then there's just rocks flopping around in there. You know.
Yeah.
And the front wheel is completely shredded off because it spins when you take off.
Oh, yeah,
it's
it's bald. And it's just,
yeah, it's gone. It's gone.
Yeah.
But I had the green machine. I remember Mom got me a green machine, and that thing was, I can't remember. It was, you go in and you pull the thing, and it doesn't burn out, or it spins out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine got taken from me somehow. It got hit by a car. Yeah, I left it out in the street or something, and the car crushed it.
Ruined.
Yeah, and they were pissed at me because I left it out. You know, the car was like, "Hey, pick up your shit." You know, they could have messed my car up. I was like, "My green machine,
Yeah.
it's over."
So tragic.
It's dead.
It's
garbage, garbage. And my mom was not happy.
Oh, of course.
That thing had to have been like $40
Oh, yeah.
or something. What do you think that thing cost? The green machine?
I mean, I don't know. Probably,
Yeah.
I think they're probably $100 now. So back then,
Oh, they'd have been like $60 probably then.
probably
Yeah,
ruined.
I know. So you buy your kid a $100 green machine, and he leaves it in the street, gets run over.
Yep.
You spank him?
Ooh. Did
We
get
don't
spanked?
want to talk about this.
Did you get spanked?
No, but I needed to. Yeah, I would be a different person if my mom would have punched me in the face when it needed to happen.
Yeah.
It was probably well deserved. Yeah. I think a mom should punch their kid in the face sometimes.
Really?
Look, my daughter's really cute right now, and she can get away. We laugh, when I say,
It's funny.
don't do that. And look, I'll say, you need to eat your dinner. And she'll say, no, I know eat dinner. And then we laugh,
Right.
right. And then, because we're laughing at her personality and stuff. But she's also realizing that she's hearing us do that and thinking, oh, that's funny when I do that. And so we're screwing up.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden we're like jumping her shit. You know what I mean? When she does
I was
it.
going to say, episode 27, you're like, man, she wouldn't eat her dinner, and
Yeah. Pretty soon.
I sent her to her room. And
Yeah, your kids are really cute, and you're like, oh, that's cute. You just told me to shut the fuck up. That's so cute. Oh man! And then they get older and scraggler looking, and they start to smell.
Yeah.
And they get boogers in their nose, and they just look. And you're like, I'm gonna punch you in the face if you don't go pick up your room right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to do something right now. Can you? I'm gonna punch you in the face. You know what I mean?
Right.
That would work for me if my mom was like, I'm out.
I'm out. Good.
You never have to really do
The
it.
green machine's locked up. It's got chains around it.
Yeah, with my daughter right now, I tell her, I'm like, you want a spanking? And she's never had a spanking.
Oh,
But she don't want one.
right.
And she don't know what it is. Because as soon as I change that,
The tone.
do you want a spanking? No. Perfect.
Yeah.
I didn't have to spank you, but then when we're out in public and other people hear me, I'm going to spank your ass if you don't. And they're like, oh my God, he beats his kids.
Yeah.
You know?
She's so cute. How can you say that?
You know, and I don't want to get into that political thing of like spanking or not spanking, but listen, I've seen kids at Walmart before climbing up on stuff, breaking stuff, and they're praying, stop it, Jimmy, stop it.
Yeah.
You know what? And in my mind, I'm going, when I have kids, that kid does that, and if he does it, I'm whooping his ass in front of everybody at Walmart. Right. And what are they going to do? No, I'm not talking about like ground and pound, like mounting them and like UFC style beating them down. Wow. But I will whap them on the ass to where it stings and embarrasses them. Yeah. You know, because you've got to put a stop to it, and you have to be consistent. Mm-hmm. You know, because they're getting away with murder in there.
There's a lot of them.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, I can't wait to beat my kids, man. Ooh, I'm mad at my kids right now. I don't even have any yet, and that kid's pissing me off. Yeah. So yeah, you get in that situation. You know what I'm talking about too. Yeah. Them little kids that just do whatever. I'll tell you, I went into a gas. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I went into a gas station one time at 11 o'clock at night. Yeah. And this guy comes in, or I'm sorry, girl comes in. She's got like 2 kids in diapers. 11 o'clock at night, Friday night, and I'm buying. Well, I was buying some beer or something. Right. You know, something real bad, and some smokes probably. Right. And they come in and they have. And I'm sorry if I get off subject and this gets too political, but. So they come in. First of all, the kid come in. They just have diapers and just drooping. You know what I mean? Right. Walks right up to me and punches me in the dick. What? I swear to God. The kid's like, bam, punches me in the dick. I'm like, get your kid, man. You know what I mean? Really? I'm standing in line waiting to pay for my stuff. Yeah. And then they kind of got in front of me. She went and got a bag of Funyuns. Right. Like a big 40-ounce something. Oh yeah. And then came up and then had the audacity to ask the person behind the counter, yeah, how much the Hennessy or something like that. Right. Okay. And they're asking for that, and then she gets out the Iowa card. Mm-hmm. And whoop. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then there's so you just bought your kids Funyuns and potato chips for dinner. Right. It's 11 o'clock at night on a Friday night. They're in here in a gas station in their diaper and punched me in the dick. And, you know, assaulting people, they don't know not to go up to people and touch them. Right. You know what I mean?
Random strangers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to bust that out. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's okay to have an Iowa card, but you don't buy your kids Funyuns for dinner with the Iowa card. And why should you be able to buy Funyuns with an Iowa card?
And a bottle of booze.
Well, they can't get the booze. She bought that in cash. She has a wad of cash. Oh, okay. You know that. Right. They have a wad of cash. Yeah. So, yeah, we're in big trouble on this already. I don't know if people, like, dig this part of stuff or not.
I don't know, but we'll find out.
Anyway, that happened.
Yeah. Wow.
And I don't even know what brought that up.
No, because you're angry at children right now.
Yeah. So we were talking about, to sum up the whole drop hammer thing, that was something I had to go through and absolve myself of that worry anymore, you know? And now I can actually enjoy projects that I do because I've kind of put that down. Right. And looked at it and went, well, that was cool. Mm-hmm. And now what can I do? Right. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know, I'm not trying to achieve a tour and a hit record anymore. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I'll leave that to the guys in 1152 and 3 Years Hollow. And
there you go.
All that. So, you know, maybe I can get a job being like their bus driver or something. Yeah. No, I think they got that cinched up. But
do they? You go on stage and go, check. Yeah. 1, 2.
I'll be the guy. You know, it reminds me. I got a buddy whenever Drop Hammer played shows and it was opening for nationals. He always wanted to be my guy, Benny. Yeah. He always wanted to be my guy. Knew nothing about guitars, but he was my guitar tech. Right. You know, knew nothing about guitars, but he was just a good friend of mine. Right. And we had fun together, you know. And so he's always like, can I check the guitar tonight? You know, and I'm like, yeah. And I'd have like 4 cabinets up there, you know what I mean? And louder than fuck, because I was always just too loud. Right. Yeah, I had that disease, sorry. But it had to be loud for me or else I wasn't having fun. Mm-hmm. And so he got to go out there, and my guitar was like to his knees because I'm 6'3", right? And he was shorter than me, so he goes out there and he gets to check the guitar. He always loved that part. Mm-hmm. And he's like, "Okay, Brian, so I need to check the guitar. I said, you just turn it on and go one time on it. As sound comes out of the speakers, you're done. Mm-hmm. Shut the volume back off. Put the guitar back in the stand. Right. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's all you need to do. Okay. And then go up to my microphone, tap it. If you get something through the monitors, you're good. Now take the microphone stand, set the microphone on top of your head, and set it there. That's where I need it. Okay. Because we figured this out. Okay. That's where my mic needs to be. Right. And so he's like, got it, man. I said, this should take you about 20 seconds. Right. packed crowd. He's got his pass on. It's a drop hammer, that we made that day or something and hadn't laminated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We were trying to look cool.
Yeah.
And so we got our passes, and then and so he goes, I got it, man. And he goes out there, and he picks up the guitar and starts playing the intro to some Slayer song or something. You know what I mean? And he's playing for like 2.5 minutes, and the you know what I mean? The crowd kind of like, whoo, at him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, hey, check 2, 1, 2, test for drop hammer, check 2, sibilance, and he's like free. And then he's like, and he comes back in and he's like, I got a little into it up there. I'm sorry.
Whoops.
Yeah. So sometimes that was his time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was the big roadie guy. You know what I mean?
That is awesome.
Drop hammer shirt on. You know what I mean? Get out of my way. I gotta test stuff, man.
Yeah, it's good.
Cutting through the crowd. I gotta get up there and check some stuff. You know what I mean? He's a good guy though, man. He's always been there for me that way. And but the story is one time I popped a string on one of the guitars.
Right.
And he runs over. He's like, "What do I do?" And I'm like, put a new string on it. And I was just seeing what he'd do.
Right.
And I had backup guitars. I finished the night with them backup guitars.
Okay.
But he goes back into the dressing room with this guitar, and and he's got my toolbox, and I always have extra strings in there.
Right.
And stuff. But I've never told him how to replace a string, and he's my guitar tech. I've never showed him how to do this.
Right.
So he brings me back the guitar, and it's got 5 like silver shiny strings on it,
right,
and 1 gold one. Okay, so he puts like, and it was the A string that popped.
Okay.
And so he gives me an acoustic gold wound acoustic string that he's shoved in the saddle somehow, and like, you know what I mean? Somehow he's got it to stick in there with the loop on the end still there. He didn't cut it off. And it's a Floyd Rose bridge, So he's got that jammed in there somehow, and the string is wrapped, and it's all twanging off the end of the neck, you know what I mean? One string. He's like, here you go, dude, I fixed it. And I'm like, and I pick it up, and I'm thinking, he fixed it. And I didn't look at it. I was like, wow, okay. I put it on. It was like, and I look, and the acoustic, it felt like I had like 3 E strings on the guitar. You know what I mean? I was like, what the fuck? And I looked, and I was just laughing. I was like, you're fired, Benny. And I put it on the stand, and it was funnier than hell.
That's funny.
I love that kind of stuff.
That's good though.
Yeah,
you were mad at the time.
Oh, I really wasn't. I was expecting to put the guitar on and hit it and be like, damn. He figured it out. He did figure it out. He just had no idea how to do it, and never done that to a guitar before. But he was my guitar tech.
Yeah.
Again, we asked, why did Drop Hammer not make it? Well,
I got you now. Got it. All right.
So this is my guitar tech. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he puts an acoustic string on my guitar, and it might not even been an A string. It might have just been a string that he saw that looked kind of like the one he was putting on. It's probably another E string.
Yeah, he's sizing it up.
Yeah. So, oh man, that was hilarious.
That's good.
But anyway, so and that leads into the whole idea about the drop hammer thing and the failure or whatever you want to feel from that. And so I've gotten over that whole thing, but I still can't get past. Listening, I don't like to listen to drop hammer CDs.
Oh, okay.
It seems like whenever I like my wife, she wants to put it in.
Right. Really?
Yeah, we're going there.
That's what she said.
Well, it's because I talk about dicks too much. Right. How many times have I said dick in this episode?
Quite a bit.
Anyway, so she wants to listen to drop hammer sometimes. And she's like, she'll put it in, and I'll hear the first three chords of it,
Right.
And I'll immediately like, no, take that. I don't want to listen to that.
Right.
And because her perspective of it is completely different than mine.
Correct.
I hear every nuance of every bad note or what I could have done different.
Right.
And I'm not hearing it for the song anymore, or the music. I'm hearing it only in like, that could have been better. That sucked. That sucked. And that sucked. And God, I hate this part coming up. Oh, God, I was a little flat there, and it's there forever.
Was there ever a time that you did listen to it? Okay.
No, I've never done a CD and then wanted to put it in the car and like listen to it over and over.
Right.
Because by the time you get it recorded, you're done with it.
Done with it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I try to remember if I was writing music that I actually would have listened to, or if I was just writing whatever music I could come up with that I was along the lines of what I was like into or what I was influenced by, and trying to emulate that as much as I could, and then the final product was, I don't know if I like it or not because I wrote it.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? I don't know if other musicians can relate to that.
Right.
But when you write the song, you don't know if you like it or not.
Oh, yeah.
When it's done. As you're kind of going into it, you remember when you're starting a song, you're like, this is cool. But then after it starts to get refined and
change it a
this
little
and that,
bit.
and then all of a sudden it's a full song, and you've done demos, and you've practiced it with the band, and you've recorded it with the band, and you've played that. Then you really kind of don't know if you like the song or not.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're like, what is it that's so cool about this song? I remember it was cool when I was strumming out the chords in my bedroom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And coming up with this part, the vocal. I remember I was like, "Walk with the brave." I was like, that was cool. You know what I mean? But then after a while, it just becomes vanilla.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you get what I'm saying or not, but
I'm understanding a little bit. Yeah.
But that's what makes me jealous about bands like 1152, and I'll go back to them again. Is if I were in their band,
right,
and that was the record I was putting out, I would crank the shit out of it, and I wouldn't give a shit what you thought of it because I stand behind it.
Right.
I would feel proud of that. You know what I'm saying?
But maybe they feel the same way.
I hope they do. And I think that they do.
Maybe they're bored with it. Maybe they don't want to hear it either. Is what I was going with. Maybe because I
don't know. I don't know.
I have to ask them.
Yeah, because and it's a little different these days. I mean, records are being recorded a little bit easier now.
Yeah.
Drop Hammer was recording on reel-to-reel tape. Let's Cry Me a River, but we still had like computer editing, but it was new when Drop Hammer was doing their records. I mean, it was Cool Edit Pro or something,
right.
Some new program that you could do your editing on there. We didn't have to cut tape. Like in the 70s and stuff,
right.
where they literally had to cut.
Yeah.
Edits were cut and paste and all that, and they were cutting it with a razor blade and moving parts around and all that. But at least we were learning how this new program worked, but we were still recording it on tape and then transferring the recorded stuff to the computer.
Right.
So we had to do our takes pretty good. We couldn't edit on it's hard. Okay. Yeah. So you can't edit on the tape. You can only edit on the computer. So you have to do the song good and then put it into the computer to put effects and right. all the last final editing shit.
Yeah.
So that was time consuming. And we went into our first recording endeavor by saving up and borrowing as much money as we could from our parents or whoever, and luckily Bill at River City Sound at the time,
right,
gave us a pretty good deal. He said, "I'll do all the songs for this package price."
Right.
And I think it was like $1,200.
Yeah.
And then people are like, "That's nothing, man." You know what I mean? But it was something.
Back in the day, it was something.
$1,200 for me and because it was on me. Right. They were all my songs.
Right.
I wrote every last inch of all the songs. So it was my endeavor. I was paying for it, but obviously I had help from Terry wanted to throw in, and they started helping out, but it was really on my shoulders. And so, the $1,200 doesn't go that far. You start running out of time.
Right.
After a while, you're like, okay, by the time you get to do the vocals, because you usually do everything else first.
Right.
Your drummer comes in and lays down the drum track, and then you got to get all the songs perfect that way. Okay, and that takes a few days. And if you're doing it by the clock, and this is how many hours.
Oh yeah.
Then all of a sudden 8 hours are down. Okay, which I want to say that our first record, I think we did it in 8 fluid hours.
Oh, okay.
Can you believe that?
Wow.
It took us. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to, but I believe that we only had we had 8 hours that it took us to do it. So obviously something suffered somewhere. Right. And pretty soon it was do a vocal. Was it good enough? Yeah, move on, because we don't have much time left. We still have to mix this. Right. And we still have to, do this. And Bill was being fair. He didn't get much money from it. He got, $1,200 or whatever to do the whole thing. The mixing we still had to do. And so the recording time, we only had 8 hours of recording time. The rest we had to spend on mixing and all this stuff. And it took a while. Right. So, there's parts of the record that I know had we had more money and more time, like today, I'm telling you, 1152's record ain't going to suck. Right. It's going to be tight. And I'm not saying it's all technology. Right. But it is definitely a helping factor. Oh, yeah. That everything goes in digital. Yeah. And you can manipulate it right now. You You know, you could take whole sections of songs and take that section and do it again. And this, and that. I'm not saying they're doing that, but
Right.
things are going to sound real competitive now. It's easier to make stuff sound more competitive now.
Right.
So, yeah. And when we were coming out doing our CD, it was kind of a new thing it was still a new thing for bands to record records at all,
totally.
around here.
Yeah.
So, we didn't totally green, didn't know what the hell we were doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're hard to listen to for me. And, 'cause
Understandable.
one EQ mistake on it, and you got to listen to that forever.
Right.
Like our kick drum on our second record is horrible. It's almost unlistenable.
Right. Well, but you do it, and you should be proud of what you did, though. You accomplished what you wanted.
Yeah.
I mean, you did put out, a couple albums.
Yeah. Absolutely. So what are we running at for time here? Are we over an hour?
Yeah.
We are?
Yeah, hour 10.
Oh, okay. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, then we better wrap this bitch up.
All right.
Because we're trying to keep the episodes at an hour.
Yeah.
Hey, and I'm glad that everybody, listens to this, that enjoys the show. I hope that you're starting to see kind of where we're going to go with all this stuff.
No, I don't even know where we're going,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
but it's still fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
Minor Disturbance Radio. We'd like to thank Rascals, Music Mart, Music Go Round, Ribco, Rock Academy. Did I say? You got it over there.
Yeah,
Real Track Studio, Ribco,
Richie Sound, you said?
Richie Sound,
Yes.
and all them boys, and Nar City for printing up our shirts.
Yeah, they'll be out soon.
Yeah, like I say, hey, in this show, like I said, I didn't say anything about it. We didn't have anybody bring us in on it.
Nope.
We didn't have any shredder of the week.
Nope.
I just wanted to get another episode out for people to listen to, and have a good time with, and hopefully we jar up some memories in your own head. And,
Yeah.
and like I said, if if you're in a band and you want to send us a little clip of you saying something, or
Yeah.
anything like that, or if you want to come sit in on the show, you know what I mean,
Right.
and throw your 2 cents into kind of what we're talking about
Yeah.
here, let us know.
Yeah, we got lots of stuff in the works. It's just a matter of getting to the shows, get through the episodes. But
Absolutely.
send your ideas in.
Yeah.
If there's something you want us to talk about. Well,
Yep. Keep in touch with us.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We love doing this, and we would be doing this regardless if there was mics in front of us, and we would we will continue to do
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
and I hope you guys enjoy it. That's
Yeah.
all we're doing it for. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
So,
definitely.
All right.
All right, thanks for listening.
Thanks, guys.
Better watch the street guys.